So my number 4 is called On the Waterfront. On the Waterfront stars Marlon Brando, very young Marlon Brando. And he lives, as the title might suggest, on the waterfront in a sort of a union labor kind of workforce at the docks. And he works for the local mob boss. There is this kind of connection between the mob and the union as well. And the mob boss is played by the lieutenant from The Exorcist and the really angry man from 12 Angry Men. Or J. Lee Cobbs, I think his name is.
Yeah, something.
And there is a murder that Brando's involved with, sort of at the beginning, where he's basically the distraction, and he witnesses the murder. And he meets the victim's sister and kind of falls in love. And it's what I like most about the movie is following the punk, because he's basically playing a punk. We don't see many scenes in those behind the closed doors with the higher-ups, and we don't see much with cops. We're following the punk guy, and there's obviously that very famous line where he says, where he gets all of the regrets out. He says, I could have been someone, I could have been a contender, I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am. And it's really refreshing to hear that in a crime movie, because they're either really, really glamorized or they're kind of portrayed as scumbags.
The villain, yeah.
Yeah, and this really, it gets a criminal who wishes he didn't have to be a criminal.
Yeah.
Because his environment, it's obviously union controlled, and it's either really hard work or you can take the easy way and be a mobster.
Yeah.
And that's, I really think you should watch it, because I don't think you have you?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's very good stuff. It's my number 4 pick. So, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a movie called A Man from Nowhere. It's a Korean film, again. Starring Won Bin, who is this new up-and-comer, and where am I? Kim Se-ron. Won Bin plays this unsociable pawn shop owner who has a slightly mysterious background that you don't find out about till close to the end. And he befriends a young girl who lives in his apartment building, whose mother is she's a drug mule between, like, the Chinese and the Koreans, I guess. And So-mi, who's the young girl, she gets kidnapped, and Won Bin's character goes after her and doesn't do some very law-abiding things. He has a special set of skills that...
Was he one of those Liam Neeson and Taken kind of guys?
Slightly,
okay.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Is this kind of like Taken? Because I have not seen this movie. Is it much like what Taken is like? Because I wonder if Taken is a remake of what you're just talking about.
It might be. I've never seen Taken, so thanks.
Why is it on your list then? Why should I be watching this?
It's really gritty. It's one of those ones that just kind of throws all the punches in your face.
Right.
It's got a lot of backstory to the main character, Won Bin's character.
Is it a flashback movie?
Not a lot. There's
good.
2. I think.
I'm not fond of those movies where
everything is a flashback.
Yeah, or like we need a quiet moment between the action, so the guy kind of sits meditatively and then we flash back to a moment that's kind of relevant to what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
This one is, if you don't like watching people die, don't watch this movie. There's a lot of killing in this movie.
So it's a violent picture?
It's a very violent picture.
Okay.
The way that they die is pretty cool, though, some of them. It's centered around organ trafficking. So.
Okay.
Yeah. It starts out as, like, cocaine and shit, but the central theme is around
cocaine
human
and shit.
trafficking, like organ
The
trafficking.
cocaine is at the bottom. So literally cocaine and shit.
Yeah.